The glove box didn't make a sound when I opened it. That was the first weird thing. My car's old latch usually clicked, a soft plastic snap like a chip bag giving up. This time, it slid open too easily, like it had already been opened recently. I didn't think much of it until I saw the envelope. Plain white, no writing, no logo, just thick enough to be hiding something. But that was 3 days after the lie. Friday started like any other. I had just gotten off a night shift at the hospital, rotation, which meant I smelled like antiseptic and burnt coffee, and my head was fogged from 12 hours of patients and overhead lights. I was tugging off my scrubs in the locker room when my phone buzzed. "Nico, yo bro, any chance I could borrow your car, just for a few hours?" That was it, no context, no hey, no small talk, just straight to the ask. I stared at the message for a second, then typed back. "Me, where you headed?" The dots blinked for a while before his answer came. "Nico, gotta meet someone across town, can't get a lift, promise I'll be careful." He knew I was sensitive about the car. It wasn't fancy, a 10-year-old Honda Civic, but it was the first thing I bought on my own after med school, paid in full. I treated it like it still had a loan on it. Still, Nico was my best friend since middle school. We'd gone through puberty, high school girlfriends, college breakdowns, and dead-end jobs together. He knew me better than most of my family. So I said yes. I left the keys in my mailbox and told him to lock it back up when he was done. He sent a thumbs-up emoji and a thanks, bro. That was at 8:47 a.m. When I woke up around 3 in the afternoon, I noticed I didn't have any missed calls or texts from him. Not a big deal. Nico was the kind of guy who disappeared into whatever he was doing. Still, something sat weird in my gut. I don't know how else to describe it, just a small itch. So I shot him a message. "Me, all good with the car?" No answer. An hour passed, then 2. At 6:12 p.m. I got a text back. "Nico, yeah bro, all good, on my way back now, sorry got caught up." No punctuation, not even his usual exclamation point. I told myself I was reading too much into it, that I was still sleep-deprived and cranky, but something about that message made the back of my neck tense up. When he brought the car back, I was already outside on my porch. He waved like nothing was off, slid out of the driver's seat in his usual hoodie and cargo shorts, handed me the keys. "Appreciate you, man, lifesaver," he said, avoiding eye contact. "How was the meeting?" I asked casually, fishing for tone. "Oh good, just business stuff," he said, quick and vague, kinda boring. That was Nico's thing when he lied. He got too casual, said things like business stuff even when he didn't own a business. His tells were small, but I'd known them for over a decade. I nodded slowly, didn't press, just took the keys and pocketed them. He walked off fast, too fast. The next morning, I got into the car to drive to work. That's when I noticed it. The passenger seat had been pushed all the way back. Now that might seem small, but I'm observant. I live alone and I don't loan my car out to anyone else. I keep the passenger seat pushed upright because I sometimes throw my gym bag there. Seeing it reclined all the way back like someone had lounged there, someone tall, was jarring. I sat still for a moment. Then I glanced into the glove box. I don't even know why, just instinct. That's when I found the envelope. It wasn't sealed, just tucked closed. I pulled it out, flipped the flap, and saw 3 things inside. A printed receipt for a hotel booking. A folded note with a lipstick mark. A parking ticket time-stamped 10:16 a.m. from a garage nowhere near where Nico claimed he was. My chest tightened. I blinked slowly, not believing what I was seeing. My hands started shaking a little, but I kept reading. The hotel receipt was for a single night that Friday. The name on it was Nico's. It was mine. My name, my address. He used my car and apparently my identity to check in. I sat there for a long time trying to piece it together. The lipstick mark, the fake name, the time stamp. Why lie, why me? And then a horrible thought hit me. I grabbed my phone and opened up my photos. Scrolled back to a random selfie Nico had taken in my car a few months ago. There it was, my registration sitting in the glove box behind the manual. He'd had access to it for years. If he wanted to impersonate me, he had enough info to do it. That's when I realized this wasn't just a friend asking for a favor. This was something bigger. This was betrayal. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, running every scenario through my head. Who was the woman? What did he do at that hotel? Why use my name? I decided not to text him. Not yet, I needed more. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I drove back to the hotel. It was Sunday. The lobby was mostly empty except for a woman at the front desk. She had the kind of polite smile that you know gets abused by rude customers every day. I approached slowly. "Hey," I said, "I think my ID was used here this weekend. I just found out." Her smile wavered. "Do you have a confirmation number or name?" I gave her my full name. She typed, "Yes, we had a reservation under that name, checked in Friday morning." I swallowed. "Can I ask who checked in? Was there a man?" She hesitated. "I'm not supposed to give that information, sir." "I get that," I said quickly. "I'm not mad. I think my friend used my name without telling me. I'm trying to find out what's going on." She bit her lip, then lowered her voice. "It was two people, a man and a woman, checked in around 10:30, left Saturday morning. Two people, not a solo stay." I closed my eyes. "Thanks," I said softly. "Was something wrong?" she asked. I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. "Yeah, he told me he just needed to run an errand." Back in the car, I sat for a long time. Then I opened my texts. "Me, we need to talk in person." He replied in under a minute. "Nico, what's up?" "Me, come by after work and bring the truth this time." I heard his engine before I saw him. Nico's car, a beat-up blue Toyota Camry he'd been driving since high school, wheezed up the street like it was coughing its way to retirement. It stopped in front of my place just before 7. I watched from the kitchen window, hands tight on a chipped mug of black coffee I hadn't touched in an hour. He stayed in the car a moment too long. That's how I knew he already felt guilty. When he finally got out, he walked slow, shoulders down like a kid about to get scolded. Same hoodie from Friday, different cargo shorts. His signature chain, cheap stainless steel, hung just outside the neckline. I opened the front door before he could knock. "Come in," I said flat. He walked past me, glanced once toward the living room like he was expecting to sit down. "Not there," I said. He froze. "Kitchen." "No, hallway's fine." He looked confused but nodded. We stood by the hallway table, that small corner of my apartment that had nothing except an old coat rack and a framed photo of us from college, drunk on my couch, arms around each other, smiling like the world hadn't betrayed either of us yet. I pointed at it. "You remember that night?" He glanced at it. "Yeah, finals week. We made that garbage pasta with hot dogs." "Right, and you told me something that night." "What?" "You said, and I quote, I'd never lie to you, even if it made things easier." He was quiet. I pulled out the envelope and set it on the hallway table. "You sure you want to stand by that?" He looked at it but didn't move. His jaw tightened. "Where'd you get that?" "In my glove box," I said. "You know, the one in my car, the car you borrowed." His eyes flicked up to mine, and for the first time in years I didn't see my best friend. I saw someone cornered. "I can explain." "No," I snapped, "you can tell the truth." He stared at the envelope again like it might open itself and do the talking for him. "The girl," he said finally, "her name's Jess." "Okay. We've been seeing each other a few months." I raised an eyebrow. "And you used my name to get a room with her?" He sighed, shoulders sagging. "Her ex is crazy, all right, like real psycho. He tracks her phone, watches her socials, checks hotel records, don't ask me how. She said she couldn't be seen booking under her name or being seen with mine." "So you used mine?" "I didn't think it'd matter, man. I didn't think you'd know." "That's not better, Nico." He shut up. I stepped closer. "You lied. You said you had a meeting. You said you'd be quick. Instead, you used my car, my name, and my trust to cheat behind someone's back and pull me into your lie." "It wasn't like that." "No, then tell me how it was." He swallowed. I didn't think it through. I panicked. Jess said we needed somewhere private fast. I remembered your car had your registration in the glove box. She booked the room online and needed a name and ID. I gave her yours. "And the parking ticket?" He flinched. "I drove somewhere else first, picked her up." "Across town?" "Yeah." "And you thought I wouldn't notice the seat being moved back. You thought I wouldn't find the damn envelope." He ran a hand through his hair. "I screwed up, okay?" "Yeah," I said. "You did." We stood there in silence. You know what stings the most? I said after a while. It's not the car, it's not the name thing, it's that you knew I was coming off a double shift. You knew I trusted you without question, and you used that window when I was sleeping to pull this off. He didn't have a response. I shook my head. You could have just said, I need help. I might have even still said yes. He looked up. You think I could have told you the real reason? I was your best friend, Nico, not a stranger. That hit him harder than anything else I'd said. He didn't ask to sit, but I finally let him. We ended up on opposite ends of the living room couch like it was a courtroom bench. He started talking more freely about Jess, how things had started messy, how her ex stalked her for months, about how he felt trapped, like he had to lie just to give her peace. I didn't think using your name would go this far, he said quietly. That's not how names work, I said. You don't borrow them like a jacket. He nodded, silent. Then he reached into his backpack and pulled out my registration. Here, I shouldn't have taken it. I snatched it and tucked it back in my wallet. And the hotel charged your card, he added. I already sent you the money on Venmo. I checked, he had. Didn't change the betrayal, but at least it wasn't financial and emotional. Look, he said, standing slowly, I get it if you don't want to talk to me after this. I'd probably do the same. I didn't say anything. He turned toward the door. I'll leave you alone. Nico, I said just before he opened it. He paused. You still haven't told me the worst part. He turned back, brows furrowed. What do you mean? I stepped forward, held up the lipstick-marked note. This. He went pale. I flipped it over. You didn't even read the back. What? I handed it to him. On the back, written in small, clean cursive. Had a great time, hope your wife never finds out. Winking face, J. His lips moved, but no words came out. You're married, Nico. I can explain. No, I said, you can leave. He stared at me for a second, mouth half open, then turned and walked out. The door closed behind him with a quiet click. I sat down, heart thumping. I wasn't sure who I was more angry with, Nico for dragging me into his affair or myself for never noticing the cracks in his story sooner. But I wasn't done. Because something still didn't add up. Why did Jess write my name on the receipt? How did she know my name, not Nico? And then a darker thought crept in. What if she didn't just use my name, but thought she was actually with me? The questions multiplied in my head like mold under damp wallpaper, spreading, sticking, getting into everything. I paced my apartment, brushing past furniture I suddenly felt detached from. I stopped by the photo of Nico and me again, that same college snapshot on the hallway table. Smiling, young, dumb. I turned it face down. Then I picked up the note again. Had a great time, hope your wife never finds out. Winking face, J. That stupid wink, that smug curl of ink. I wasn't married, Nico was, which meant Jess either didn't know who he really was or she did, and this was some kind of twisted in-joke between them. But something gnawed at me, deeper than guilt, deeper than anger. The name on the hotel receipt. My name. Printed cleanly, correctly, first and last. Which led me to one deeply unsettling possibility. What if she didn't think she was with Nico at all? What if she thought she was with me? At 2:07 a.m. I opened my laptop. I had a hospital shift at 7, but I couldn't stop. I logged into the booking site the hotel used. I'd seen it on the receipt. Generic aggregator, but I found the portal. I typed in my email. Nothing. I tried Nico's. Nothing. But then I remembered something. Back in college when we were applying for internships, Nico had briefly used my email address to send a resume. His was glitching out and I'd offered mine in a pinch. He forwarded everything to his Gmail from there. So I searched my email for the domain name on the receipt. And there it was. One automated confirmation email. Sent to my inbox on Thursday night, 11:38 p.m. Subject, your hotel stay confirmation, August 16, 2025. I clicked it. Booking made under my name, paid with a prepaid Visa card, no contact phone listed. And then I saw it, guest email, jessrayhart89@outlook.com. She made the booking. Not Nico. She chose my name. She put in my email. I leaned back in my chair, blood draining from my arms. This wasn't just Nico using me, Jess was involved directly. But why? By morning, I was a zombie in scrubs. I made it through 3 patient consults, a difficult triage, and a pediatric laceration repair without remembering any of it. My head was swimming in hotel timestamps and lipstick notes. I left early. I told the attending I had a migraine. That wasn't a lie. Back in the parking lot, I sat in my Civic with the door open and pulled up the email again. I stared at that email address, jessrayhart89. Then, without fully thinking it through, I copied it and dropped it into Facebook search. Nothing. I tried Instagram. Boom. There she was. Public account. Profile pic, brunette, early 30s, sharp eyeliner, soft smile. Bio, sparkles, live, fierce, loveful, trust carefully, sparkles. I scrolled. Mostly selfies, gym shots, smoothie bowls. Then I saw it, one post from 6 weeks ago, a dimly lit dinner table, 2 wine glasses, 1 male hand partially in frame, no face. Caption, when you finally find someone who makes you feel safe. I zoomed in. The man's arm had a tattoo, 3 dice, small, near the elbow. I knew that tattoo. Nico got it in Vegas 2 years ago after winning $600 at blackjack. My stomach twisted. So yeah, Jess knew Nico. But she'd still booked the room under my name. I closed Instagram and opened a burner Google account. Made a new Gmail, something bland. Then I used it to send Jess an email. Subject, hey, quick question. Hey Jess. I think we met Friday, not sure if you remember, but I think we may have left something at the hotel room. Could use a quick chat. No name, no lie, just bait. An hour later, I got a reply. Subject, Ray, hey, quick question. Hey, oh wow, didn't think I'd hear from you. Smiling face with smiling eyes. And yeah, I remember, that night was unexpected, you were sweet though. Sure, we can chat, text me, 401xxxxxxx. She attached her number. My heart thundered. Unexpected. You were sweet. She thought I was there. I sat staring at the number, fingers trembling. I didn't want to call. But I had to. So I did. 1 rang, 2, 3. Then a soft female voice answered. Hello. Oh hey, is this Jess? It is, who's this? I paused, it's me from Friday. A beat, then a smile crept into her voice. Oh you. My skin crawled. Hey, I said, keeping my tone even. Just wanted to clarify something. Friday, do you remember who you were with? She laughed gently, you're shy now. No, I said, I'm just confused. Another pause. You're Mark, right, that's what you said. My blood went cold. I said that. You gave the name at the front desk, didn't you, Mark Ali? That was my full name. She sounded completely certain. I swallowed, right, sorry, just that night was a blur. You weren't acting like it was, she teased. But yeah, I remember, you were nervous, said you were borrowing your buddy's car, thought it'd be discreet. I said that. Yeah, why? My mouth went dry. She didn't know Nico. At least not as Nico. She knew me. Because that's who Nico pretended to be. I ended the call quickly, faking bad reception. She sounded confused but let me go. I sat in my car, staring at the glove box again like it held a black hole. The truth was worse than I thought. Nico didn't just lie to me. He became me. He used my name, my car, my past, every scrap of info he'd collected over our friendship and built a mask out of it. And Jess, she slept with me in her mind at least. That's not just betrayal. That's identity theft. And something told me this wasn't the first time. The hospital lights felt sharper when I went back in Monday morning. Everything buzzed louder, footsteps in the hallway, the whir of the elevator motor. Even the water cooler hissed like it had something to say. I felt like a stranger in my own skin, walking around in a white coat with someone else's name echoing in my head, mine. Because someone else had worn it. Nico wore it like a second skin. And just she had kissed my name, not my face. The weight of that hadn't settled yet, but I could feel it getting heavier by the hour. I left halfway through my shift, said I had food poisoning. The attending looked skeptical, but I guess my pale face did enough of the talking. I didn't go home. I drove. Past downtown, past the strip malls. I didn't even realize where I was heading until the skyline thinned out and familiar shapes started forming in my peripheral vision. Nico's apartment. He wasn't home. But I sat in the parking lot for over 2 hours, engine off, hands gripping the wheel. At 5:41 p.m. he pulled in. Same tired Camry, same hoodie. I stepped out before he even turned the engine off. His eyes widened when he saw me. I figured we were done, he said flatly. We're not, I said, not even close. He didn't reply, just walked toward his door. I followed. Inside, the place smelled like microwave burritos and lemon disinfectant, clean in the way men clean when they know people might come over, but never really do. Make it quick, he muttered, tossing his keys onto the counter. I didn't sit. I pulled out my phone, opened the call log, scrolled to Jess's number. I called her. He froze, slowly turned. She thought I was you, Nico. She remembered the name Mark Ali. She remembered me, not you. His face drained of color. I kept going. She said I was sweet and nervous, that I borrowed my friend's car to keep it discreet. He dropped into the kitchen chair like someone cut his knees. She thought I was you, I said again, because you told her you were me. No excuses this time, no half-hearted defenses. Just silence. And then, I didn't think you'd ever find out. That line so quiet, so deliberate. It shattered something in me. You wore my life, I whispered. You pretended to be me to sleep with a woman. That's not just a lie, that's sick. He looked up at me, eyes glassy but still stubborn. She liked you, Mark, not me. I just borrowed a version of you she could fall for. That version was real, it was me, not some costume. He said nothing. I took a step forward. How many times? He blinked. What? How many other women have you pretended to be me for? He opened his mouth, closed it. My breath caught in my throat. Oh my God, I said, this wasn't the first time. He didn't deny it. Just lowered his gaze like a guilty kid caught stealing lunch money. He'd been using my name for over a year. Little things at first, social apps, dating profiles, playing it like a joke. But it escalated faster than he could admit and far worse than I imagined. Women liked your credentials, he said quietly. Doctor, stable, kind, I just needed a little bit of that, just enough to make a connection. I never planned on it going so far. But it did go far. He nodded slowly. The Civic, the hotel, Jess, you told her you were me and you let her believe it through the whole night. I didn't force her. I didn't say you did, but what you did do was manipulate her with someone else's identity, with my name, my life, and you dragged me into it without consent. Do you get that? That's not just a betrayal, that's a felony. His face crumpled. You wouldn't press charges. Wouldn't I? We locked eyes. You think I'm just gonna let this slide because we used to split beer money and cheat off each other's chemistry homework? You used me. You lied to someone in a way that left real damage, and you put my professional license at risk. He flinched. Oh yeah, he hadn't thought of that. What if Jess posted about Mark Ali online? What if it reached the hospital? What if a patient Googled me and found something I had nothing to do with? I took out my phone again. Opened the voice recorder app. This is your last chance, I said. You're going to tell me everything, names, accounts, how long, what you said, all of it. He hesitated. If you don't, I said, I file an identity theft report tonight, and I go to the hospital board tomorrow. He slumped forward, arms resting on the table. And then he started talking. I recorded everything. 12 different women, 3 active dating profiles, 2 under my name, 1 using my old college photo. Even a second phone number tied to a Google Voice account listed as Mark A. He'd been doing this for over a year. I asked him why. His voice cracked. Because people like you more than me, he said. You got the jobs, the car, the respect. I got nothing. You ever think about how that feels? I shook my head. You want sympathy after stealing my face. He didn't answer. I ended the recording. And I walked out. That night I emailed Jess. I told her everything. Who I really was. Who he really was. What he'd done. I expected rage. I expected tears. What I got was something quieter. Jess, I thought something felt off. The way he hesitated when I asked about med school, the weird gaps, but I wanted to believe the story because I liked the version of you he sold me. She blocked him, reported the fake accounts, and said something that stuck with me. I liked you, not him, even though it wasn't you in front of me. I forwarded the audio to a lawyer friend from med school, asked what I could do and what I shouldn't do. He said technically I had a strong case: identity theft, fraud, emotional harm, possibly defamation depending on what Nico said while impersonating me. But the hospital, that was the real threat. Any scandal, even false, could stain a license, a reputation. So I made a decision. I sent Nico one final message. The profiles come down, all of them. You send me screenshots. You hand over the Google Voice account. If anything tied to my name shows up again, I press charges and I bury you professionally. He replied 5 minutes later. Understood. I haven't spoken to him since. He deleted everything, sent screenshots, even wiped his Instagram clean, disappeared from the digital world like a ghost trying to dodge sunlight. But the thing about ghosts, they never leave quietly. They linger, especially when they look like you. There's something surreal about watching your own identity get dismantled in screenshots. Nico sent them one by one photos of him deleting fake Tinder profiles, shutting down burner emails, revoking access to cloud drives filled with stolen bios and edited photos. One screen grab showed him erasing a Google spreadsheet labeled Marque, talking points. Yeah, he had notes. What was in it? Things like, mention med school struggle, make him seem humble. Say you chose ER for the chaos plus adrenaline, women like that. Use his gym photo, but say you do go anymore, equals more relatable. He turned me into a product. A curated brand of stable but rugged, reserved but caring, man, a few words but deep meaning. And the worst part, it worked. I didn't tell many people. Not my coworkers, not my family, just my lawyer friend and Jess, who was surprisingly calm through the whole thing. I don't know what to feel, she told me on our last call. Part of me is embarrassed, part of me's just creeped out. Don't blame yourself, I said. I wanted to believe him. Believe you, she said. He was convincing. He had all my lines memorized. He used them well. She didn't say it bitterly. Just quietly. She wasn't angry at me and she didn't want anything from me, just distance. Fair. I gave it to her. Weeks passed. The Civic still had the faint scent of her perfume. I vacuumed the seats twice, washed the Glovebox handle with alcohol wipes, took down the air freshener Nico left behind. But you can't scrub away betrayal that easily. Not when it speaks in your own voice. 3 Sundays later, I got a package in the mail. No return address. Inside, a cheap leather wallet. I opened it. There were 3 things inside. My old college student ID. A torn photo of me and Nico from our trip to Tahoe, ripped down the center. And a handwritten note. This is all I ever wanted to be. Sorry. And no envelope, just the wallet wrapped in silence. I set it down, stared at it. And then finally I cried. Not for the lies, not for the hotel, not even for Jess. But for the part of me that trusted him longer than I should have. You grow up thinking you'll always see betrayal coming. That it'll arrive with a sneer or a knife or a line crossed in neon paint. But real betrayal doesn't yell. It borrows your hoodie. Smiles in your living room. Says thanks bro when you hand over the keys. And then drives off with your name. I changed my passwords. Removed my middle name from all social media. Locked my DMV info, called credit agencies, added fraud alerts. I cleaned up. And I started therapy. Because if someone can hijack your life without touching your bank account, it means your trust, not your money, was the real currency. And I'd spent too much of it on someone who sold me out. Last week, a nurse asked if I had a brother. No, I said. She tilted her head. Weird, some girl came in asking for Dr. Ali, said she met you online. I paused. Describe her. Brunette, pretty, didn't give a name, said you had kind eyes. My stomach dropped. Did she leave anything? Yeah, she handed me a folded piece of paper. It said, I think I met your shadow. I'd still like to know the real thing. J. No number. No address. Just that. I never saw her again. And maybe that's okay. Because some stories aren't about getting the girl, or the revenge, or even the peace. Some stories are just about getting your name back, piece by piece, and locking the glove box for good. If this story moved you, subscribe for more real-life confessions and emotional journeys like this one.